Chapter 18. And Jethro, prince of Midian, the father-in-law of Moshe, heard all that Yahuwah had done for Moshe and for Israel his people, and that Yahuwah had brought forth Israel from Mizraim. And Jethro, the father-in-law of Moshe, took Zipporah his wife, whom Moshe had sent back from him after going into Mizraim, and his 2 sons, the name of one of whom was Gershom, because he had said, I am a dweller in a strange land which is not mine, and the name of the other Eliezer, for he had said, the Elohim of my fathers was my helper, and saved me from the sword of Pharaoh. And Jethro, the father-in-law of Moshe, and the sons of Moshe, and his wife, came to Moshe at the desert in which he was sojourning hard by the mountain, upon which the glory of Yahuwah was revealed to Moshe at the beginning. And he said to Moshe, I, thy father-in-law Jethro, have come to thee to be a proselyte. And if thou wilt not receive me on my own account, receive me for the sake of thy wife, and of her 2 sons who are with her. And Moshe came forth from under the cloud of glory to meet his father-in-law, and did obeisance, and kissed him, and made him a proselyte. And they asked of each other's welfare, and came to the tabernacle, the house of instruction. And Moshe recounted to his father-in-law all that Yahuwah had done to Pharaoh and to the Mizraim on behalf of Israel, all the hardship they had found in the way, at the sea of Sup, and at Marah, and at Rephidim, and how Amalek had fought with them, and Yahuwah had delivered them. And Jethro rejoiced over all the good which Yahuwah had done unto Israel, and that he had given them manna, and the well, and that he had saved them from the hand of the Mizraim. And Jethro said, Blessed be the name of Yahuwah, who hath saved you from the hand of the Mizraim, and from the hand of Pharaoh, and hath saved the people from under the tyranny of the Mizraim. Now I have known that Yahuwah is stronger than all Elohim, for the very thing by which the Mizraim wickedly would have punished Israel by, drowning them in the sea, upon themselves came the punishment, in being punished in the sea. And Jethro took burnt offerings and holy sacrifices before Yahuwah. And Aaron and all the elders of Israel came to eat bread with the father-in-law of Moshe before Yahuwah. And Moshe stood and ministered before them. And the day after, the day of reconciliation, Moshe sat to judge the people. And the people stood before Moshe from morning till evening. And the father-in-law of Moshe saw how much he toiled and labored for his people. And he said, What thing is this that thou art doing to the people? Why dost thou sit alone to judge, and all the people stand before thee from morning until evening? And Moshe said to his father-in-law, Because the people come to me to inquire for instruction from before Yahuwah. When they have a matter for judgment, they come to me, and I judge between a man and his fellow, and make them to know the statutes and the law of Yahuwah. And the father-in-law of Moshe said to him, This thing that thou art doing is not well ordered. Thou wilt verily wear thyself away, Aaron also and his sons, and the elders of thy people, because the thing is heavier than thou art able to do by thyself. Now hearken to me, and I will advise thee, and may the word of Yahuwah be thy helper. When thou art with the people who seek instruction from before Yahuwah, thou should take their affair before Yahuwah, and give them counsel about the statutes and laws. Make them understand the prayer they are to offer in the house of congregation, the manner of visiting the sick, of burying the dead, of being fruitful and doing good, and in the work and process of justice, and how to conduct themselves among the wicked. But thou should elect from all the people men of ability who fear Yahuwah, upright men who hate to receive the mammon of dishonesty, and superappoint them to be heads of thousands, of hundreds, of 50s, and of 10s. And let them judge the people at all times. And every great matter bring to thee, but every little thing let them judge themselves, that they may lighten the burden that is upon thee, and bear it with thee. If thou wilt do this, and exempt thyself from judging every case as Yahuwah shall give thee instruction, thou wilt be able to continue to hear them. And Aaron also and his sons, and all the elders of the people, will resort to the place of judgment and peace. And Moshe hearkened to his father-in-law, and did all that he had said. And Moshe selected able men from all Israel, and appointed them chief over the people, rabbins of thousands, 600, rabbins of hundreds, 6,000, rabbins of 50s, 12,000, and rabbins of 10s, 6 myriads. And they judged the people at all times, A barred case they brought to Moshe, but every light matter they judged it. And Moshe parted from his father-in-law, and he went, and himself made proselytes of all the children of his land. Chapter 19. In the 3rd month of the exodus of the sons of Israel from the land of Mizraim, on that day, the 1st of the month, came they to the desert. For they had journeyed from Rephidim, and had come to the desert of Sinai in Israel, and camped there in the desert, of one heart, nigh to the mountain. And Moshe on the 2nd day went up to the summit of the mount, and Yahuwah called to him from the mount, saying, This shalt thou speak to the men of the house of Jacob, and instruct the house of Israel. Ye have seen what I did to the Mizraim, and how I bare you upon the clouds, as upon eagle's wings from Peluzin, to take you to the place of the sanctuary, there to solemnize the Pascha, and in the same night brought you back to Peluzin, and from thence have brought you nigh to receive the doctrine of my law. And now, if you will truly hearken to my word, and keep my covenant, you shall be more beloved before me than all the peoples on the face of the earth. And before me you shall be crowned kings, and sanctified priests, and a holy people. These are the words thou shalt speak to the sons of Israel. And Moshe came that day, and called the elders of the people, and set in order before them all these words which Yahuwah had commanded. And all the people responded together, and said, All that Yahuwah hath spoken, we will do. And Moshe carried back the words of the people before Yahuwah. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, Behold, on the 3rd day I will reveal myself to thee in the depth of the cloud of glory, that the people may hear while I speak with thee, and may believe in thee forever. And Moshe delivered the words of the people before Yahuwah. And Yahuwah said to Moshe on the 4th day, Go unto the people, and prepare them today and tomorrow. Let them wash their raiment, and be prepared on the 3rd day. For on the 3rd day Yahuwah will reveal himself to the eyes of all the people upon the mount of Sinai. And thou shalt set limits for the people, that they may stand round about the mountain, and shalt say, Beware that you ascend not the mount, nor come near its confines. Whoever cometh nigh the mount will be surely put to death. Touch it not with the hand, for he will be stoned with hailstone, or be pierced with arrows of fire. Whether beast or man, he will not live. But when the voice of the trumpet is heard, they may go up forwards towards the mount. And Moshe went down that day to the people, and prepared the people, and they blanched their clothes. And he said to the people, Be ready for the 3rd day, abstain from the marriage bed. And it was on the 3rd day, on the 6th of the month, in the time of the morning, that on the mountain there were voices of thunders, and lightnings, and mighty clouds of smoke, and a voice of a trumpet exceeding loud. And all the people in the camp trembled. And Moshe brought forth the people from the camp to meet the glorious presence of Yahuwah. And suddenly Yahuwah of the world uprooted the mountain, and lifted it in the air, and it became luminous as a beacon, and they stood beneath the mountain. And all the mount of Sinai was in flame, for the heavens had overspread it, and he was revealed over it in flaming fire. And the smoke went up as the smoke of a furnace, and all the mountain quaked greatly. And the voice of the trumpet went forth, and grew stronger. Then Moshe spake, and was answered from before Yahuwah with a gracious and majestic voice, and with pleasant and gracious words. And Yahuwah revealed himself on Mount Sinai, upon the summit of the mountain. And Yahuwah called unto Moshe from the summit of the mount. And Moshe went up. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, Descend, and warn the people, lest they come directly before Yahuwah to gaze, and many of them fall. The priest also, who approach to minister before Yahuwah, must be sanctified, lest Yahuwah destroy them. And Moshe said before Yahuwah, The people cannot come up to Mount Sinai, because thou did instruct us, saying, Make limits to the mount, and sanctify it. And Yahuwah said to him, Go down, and then ascend, thou and Aaron with thee, but let not the priest or the people directly come up to gaze before Yahuwah, lest he slay them. And Moshe went down from the mountain to the people, and said to them, Draw nigh and hear the law with 10 words. Chapter 20. And Yahuwah spake all these words, saying, The first word, as it came forth from the mouth of the Holy One, whose name be blessed, was like storms and lightnings and flames of fire, with a burning light on his right hand and on his left. It winged its way through the air of the heavens, and was made manifest unto the camp of Israel, and returned, and was engraven on the tables of the covenant that were given by the hand of Moshe, and were turned in them from side to side. And then called he, and said, Sons of Israel, my people, I am Yahuwah your Elohim, who brought you out free from the land of the Mizraim, from the house of the bondage of slaves. The second word which came forth from the mouth of the Holy One, whose name be blessed, was like storms, and lightnings, and flames of fire. A burning light was on his right hand and on his left, and was borne through the air of the heavens, returned, and was made manifest unto the camp of Israel. It returned, and was engraven on the tables of the covenant, and was turned in them from side to side. Then called he, and said, House of Israel, my people, thou shalt have no other Elohim beside me. You shall not make to yourselves image or figure, or any similitude of what is in the heavens above, or on the earth beneath, or in the waters under the earth. You shall not bow down to them, or worship before them, for I, Yahuwah your Elohim, am a jealous Elohim, and an avenger, punishing with vengeance, recording the guilt of wicked fathers upon rebellious children, until the third and unto the fourth generation of them who hate me, but keeping mercy and goodness, for thousands of generations of the righteous who love me, and who keep my commandments and my laws. My people of the house of Israel, let no one of you swear by the name of the word of Yahuwah your Elohim in vain. For in the day of the great judgment, Yahuwah will not hold guiltless any who sweareth by his name in vain. My people of the house of Israel, remember the Sabbath day to sanctify it. 6 days you shall labor and do all your service. But the seventh day is for rest and quietude before Yahuwah your Elohim. You shall not perform any work, you and your sons and your daughters and your servants and your handmaids and your sojourners who are in your cities. For in 6 days Yahuwah created the heavens and the earth and the sea and whatever is therein, and rested on the seventh day. Therefore Yahuwah hath blessed the day of Sabbath and sanctified it. My people, the house of Israel, let every man be instructed in the honor of his father and in the honor of his mother, that your days may be multiplied upon the land which Yahuwah your Elohim giveth you. My people, the sons of Israel, you shall not be murderers, you shall not be companions of, or partakers with murderers. In the congregations of Israel there shall not be seen a murderous people. Neither shall your sons rise up after you and teach one another to take part with murderers. For on account of the guilt of murder, the sword cometh forth upon the world. My people of the house of Israel, be ye not adulterers, nor companions, nor partakers with adulterers. Nor in the congregation of Israel shall there be seen an adulterous people, that your sons may not arise after you to teach one another to have part with adulterers. For through the guilt of adultery death cometh forth upon the world. For through the guilt of adultery death cometh forth upon the world. Sons of Israel, my people, ye shall not be thieves, nor companions, nor partakers with thieves. There shall not be seen in the congregation of Israel a thievish people, that your sons may not arise after you to teach one another to have part with thieves. For on account of the guilt of theft, famine cometh forth upon the world. Sons of Israel, my people, ye shall not testify against your neighbors a testimony of falsehood, nor be companions or partakers with those who bear false witness, nor shall there be seen in the congregations of Israel a people who testify a testimony of falsehood. Neither shall your sons arise after you to teach one another to have part with those who testify falsehood. For because of the guilt of false testimony, the clouds go up and the rain cometh not down, and dryness cometh upon the world. Sons of Israel, my people, ye shall not be covetous companions or partakers with the covetous, nor shall there be seen in the congregations of Israel a covetous people, that your sons may not arise after you to teach one another to have part with the covetous. Neither shall any among you covet the wife of his neighbor, nor his servant, nor his handmaid, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that belongeth to his neighbor. Because through the guilt of covetousness the government breaketh in upon the possessions of men to take them, and the wealthy are made poor, and slavery cometh upon the world. And all the people saw the thunders, and were turned back, every one as he had heard them coming forth from the midst of the lights, and the voice of the trumpet, as it will raise the dead, and the mountains smoking. And all the people saw and drew back, and stood 12 miles off. And they said to Moshe, "Speak thou with us, and we can hear, but let it not be spoken with us any more from before Yahuwah, lest we die." And Moshe said to the people, "Fear not, for the glory of Yahuwah is revealed to try you, whether his fear is before your faces, that ye may not sin." And the people stood 12 miles off. But Moshe drew near to the height of the darkness, where was the glory of Yahuwah. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, "Speak thus to the sons of Israel, You have seen that from the heavens I have spoken with you. Sons of Israel, my people, you shall not make that you may worship the likeness of the sun or the moon or the stars or the planets or the angels who minister before me, idols of silver nor idols of gold. Ye shall not make to you. An altar of earth ye shall make to my name, and sacrifice upon it thy burnt offerings, and thy sanctified oblations from thy sheep and from thy oxen. And in every place where my Shekinah shall dwell, and thou worship before me, there will I send my blessing upon thee, and will bless thee. But if thou wilt make an altar of stones unto my name, thou shalt not build them sculptured. For if thou lift up iron, from which the sword is made, upon the stone, thou wilt profane it. And you, the priest, who stand to minister before me, shall not ascend to my altar by steps, but by sloping bridges, that thy shame may not be seen thereupon.